Mother Politricks watch. This is Sir B. Now, today I'm going to be talking about a fascinating article what people are sending me. You don't know one thing for me, say certain things. I don't know, so bad mind scammers fight against artists and make up things to get views. But when the people them who actually have the resources to go around and check this and measure this and compile this, say it, let's just say it hits differently. Headline news: Caribbean gang setting up franchises around the region. Now the franchises, like you have KFC and you have a KFC franchise. Yeah, you see one over here, so one over here, so one over here, so. I'm telling you, so the gangs them, even though man come from Mobi, them have a Haitian link. And them have a Bahamian link, and then the man over there link with the man over here, so. And then I'm telling you, so if one of the favorite artists them, if one of the favorite celebs them play a major role tonight, well, we have to go see them people have bad mind too, because same thing them I say. From going to that, today will be a 2-for-1, a second video dropping today. That video will be a bit left field. It's not really something you would, just typically hear me talk about, but it ties back into something I always say, that Jamaica is clearly the richest poor country on earth. Everybody tell me Jamaica is why Jamaica's murder rate is high because of the extreme poverty and sufferation. I'm going to show this Iron Man top a chart, another chart. It's crazy how Jamaica keeps topping the worst charts then. This a chart, yeah? Man, you have to go see it to believe it. Next thing, Sunday, I have a big video I drop on human trafficking. I'm going to break it down for you, how it works and the various forms. Because people just hear about human trafficking and them probably think so it's a bunch of humans stuck in traffic. You'll be very surprised to know how major this thing gets. Years now we are talk about it, I'm glad it started to get a little bit more prominent, or even as the cases now of one old plain load of man and nobody can explain what go on. I'll break that down for you Sunday. We can start off with the article. Caribbean cartels, you hear that now then? Cartels. Because they basically operate like a cartel. Caribbean cartels are using music promoters and performers as a front for organized crime, according to the head of a regional task force investigating diet coke, guns and people trafficking. Promoters and when you see certain people rise up, when you see certain people who link with a man, it all tie back into the same group of people who are the number one enemies of TIA, who are the number one enemies of the movement. Celebs, artists, promoters and them people. Don't you find that strange? These are those entertainers. Why are they so, what kind of vested interest they have in a badness so much for them have to take on? Right, you look at YouTuber. Don't you find that strange? It didn't seem weird to you as a DJ just take it upon himself and say, look, you for dead. Of all the people them in the world for dead. You don't find that strange? The light bulb never go off in your head? Okay. So, it's a powerful regional gangs that are setting up franchises in smaller islands. Right, so you have the big gang, right? So for example, you have a big gang like a Klansman, but then the psychotic can branch out, go Linstead and branch out, go Portmore and branch out, go Clarendon and them set up on a link in a St. Anne. Well, that link can stretch across the Caribbean Sea. Franchises, smaller islands, bringing new levels of violence to communities previously unexposed to that degree of gun crime. Previously unexposed. Enough man from West Kingston did left gone all board. St. James in particular. Right, because there was a strong Garden and St. James link. Right, that is why Doggy took part in the incursion and he never come from West Kingston. Right. But this don't just apply parish to parish. It is also going country to country. Didn't I show you the highest murder rate in the world? Caribbean islands dominate it. You're not seeing the link? I told you there's no way poverty explain why so much Caribbean islands depend on the highest murder rate in the world. No way poverty and sufferation and this and that. Explain it. So them finally piece it together, yeah. One link, one network. The agents them are work full time too. In many cases, those criminal networks have links to Caribbean nationals in the US who are facilitating the flow of weapons into the region. Man, that Uncle Sam just send gun to Iron Man. He must send the gun to Bahamas. But tell us, if you mash up the network, you'll be surprised that if you mash up one network, a domino effect will take place. Because all them things they work, there cannot be 500 network of gun shippers. That's too much, man. Too much people. These things are normally small and closely guarded, and only man in the link get fi can use this. That's why if you hold one and one start talk, network will tumble. That's coming from Lieutenant Colonel Michael Jones, head of CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security. It's not a YouTuber. Jones warned that gangs are becoming more sophisticated, more connected, and more transnational. You think Brokan just take up himself gonna Haiti if he never know say he did have some kind of system in place when he can go there too? Or you think them have boat there, them have gun there? You think they're chancing it? You think them just set off on a grand voyage like them a Christopher 87 Columbus and just land in a new place and start walk around? Them have the link over there. When Mark and Wassy them did a war, Unir man all that Cayman, you think they just set off on a voyage? Or let me just wander off the Cayman and hope that I just find my way. Them have the link. It's all about link. You're right now, the police look for me hard in the dog. Me say them like, look for me, oh, you're not on a link, you're on a link in the Bahamas. Yeah man, alright. Remember call Bag Juice. Yo, Bag Juice. Yo, remember dog I said, yo, he want to take himself, you know? Oh, alright, call him on there, alright. And by the time call done make him reach, by the time him reach, he have a place to stay and have a car to drive. That's how the link work. It's transnational. It's transnational. Article of mistake, you can go read the whole lot if you want. Cross-border cooperation will need to become even more sophisticated if the region is to win an escalating arms race with gangs. See that the gangs them, right, are on arms race, heavily armed. Meanwhile, Uncle Sam tell us that them are cut back on gun exports to Jamaicans. So meanwhile, the gangs are increased with them arsenal. Right, the citizen who try to defend himself and him family and him property, right, him neighbor, them arsenal are get reduced. Them now have the arsenal. I'm not talk about the football too. There was a very close nexus between arms trafficking, drug running, gangs, and the illegal movement of people throughout the region. Everything is connected. Think about it, if a man can smuggle a whole human body, a whole living person, in and out of a country, imagine how much gun then can smuggle. I wonder if you not listen to me. If a man can bring in and send out human being that is about at least 5'8" tall and weigh maybe 160, 170, right, then can move a person in and out of a country. What is a gun? If people can smuggle in people who weigh 200 pounds, imagine one gun. I want magazine or shot. Things where we start about ounces now. Franchise badness. Listen to this. Something as simple as music gets used throughout the region to network and conduct organized crime. Under the guise of performing, a gang lieutenant might make all the connections as to when are we going to move and what are we going to move, or in some instances, who we are going to hit. How much time when you see 87 dead? And when you look at see dancehall artist so and so. Because once you take on that title, CARICOM now then say, well, this person have a valid reason for move to every island 5,000 times for the year. Back in the day, it's well known so many of your favorite artists them used to carry Diet Coke and money for enough big wigs in the Diet Coke trade. Especially the money. You see, there was a time when there wasn't a limit, you know. I think there's a limit now of 10,000 the last time you hear US. I don't know if it changed. But back in the day, some of you might be too young to remember. Back in the day, you could have bring through money like dirt. And the artists them used to bring it through for the gang them. Do you know why? Because when they reach an airport, they had a legitimate reason to say, right, that money is straight. Because they must say, me just come off a tour, so if you see me 200,000 US at the tour money, immigration can't ask them no question. It makes sense, it's logical, it's plausible. That gang money. This is before we factor into the artists them par with the gunman them, fund the gunman them. We don't even go into that. This is the transnational apartheid. I'd say it's a fascinating article. And music is at the center of it. But, of course, you know, probably bad man name bad man. Yeah man, a bad man name bad man. Because it look like somebody take away him girl. Right? The Lieutenant Colonel Wartalk look like one artist take away him girl. It's all coincidence. This is all just one big coincidence. Franchise badness. Trinidad, you know how much Jamaican 87s that Trinidad. Remember I did the video on the wanted man there, Yakak? Left Ironman and that Trinidad that work as security guard. I can't make this up. If you go across the islands, you will notice, so it's the same culture, same end result. The 87s them only have different accent. They operate the same way. Everything is similar except the location and the accent. Me tell you that this have to be common design. Now we're seeing that it actually is a common design and one link. Franchises. That's a fancy way of saying the man them they link them set up in different places. Just like when you have a KFC, you have a KFC that is owned by a corporate, so you have like a headquarters KFC, but then somebody have one branch of KFC. Right? And then they make some money and then them send back some of the money will get the main headquarters, but them hold on pan that money. Right? But that's a badness, because you have a little right, stone crusher, you have the big stone crusher, and then you have the little piece them a stone crusher, piece there over here so, piece there in the Bahamas, piece there over here so. So now the question we have to ask is, since we know Ironman are export criminals, now we want to know how much criminals we are import. We know that Jamaica export criminals, you know. How much we are import. Because nowhere you say, man, I land the Ironman, we don't even have a manifesto. Man, I land the Ironman from some country spooky. Them country not traditionally drop an Ironman from the tourist business. They don't have a manifesto. We don't know if man wanted for this and that. We don't know if man link with that cell over here and that. You know them talk about setting up terrorist cells. 1 3 and 1 4 man just in one country and them not have nothing. They must operate quietly this whole time. And then the cell eventually, right, carry out an act. Who is Ironman importing? A one link, you know, the gun running, the gun trafficking. Anybody who can move guns can move people. Anybody who can move people can move guns. All these missing Jamaicans all over the place, all these missing people all over the place. It's fascinating. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, Patreon Squad, big up on yourself. PIA, you don't know, more life. Ultra Squad, see you circling. Bless.